Hello, we are at Horseshoe Bend for a hiking trip. It is January 20th, 2021. It's Martin Luther King Day and it's Brian's and my anniversary. It's like 12 years since our first date or something.
Yeah.
So we thought it would be fun to come out and just hike the trails. So last time we were here it was winter and it was like super hot. So now it's kind of chilly and we think it'll be fun. How do I look? Is it really harsh?
It's hard to tell on this little screen.
Sometimes this winter light is not the best.
We all love you, Stacy.
But come on, this will be fun. I'm eating crackers.
You heard right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at Horseshoe Bend and we're going to hike this trail that we saw the head of last time and said that's for another trip. Well, fast forward to now, this is that trip.
So our first date, we went to a restaurant in Columbus, Georgia. So we were gonna go to the Mexican place, but because it was Martin Luther King Day, it was closed. So we went to like this sort of American kind of restaurant, not Mexican food. And it was our first date, but you don't know when you're on a first date with someone if you're gonna marry that person, right? So now every year it's like, do we go to that mediocre restaurant and relive our date? And so this year we decided not to. We're trying to do something different.
For those of you who don't know, Stacy is a huge proponent of Mexican cuisine, as am I. I actually like Mexican food more than I like Italian food. Stacy loves them both, but Mexican seems to be her favorite. I like steak and fried chicken, but there are many other things in between that are delicious.
But you can't be psycho. Like, if you have a date with someone, you can't be like, we have to go to this really special place because if we end up getting married, then we can go there every year, because then you look crazy. So
and you end up not marrying that person.
That person won't marry you, so you have to be cool. That's my tip.
You may remember that shelter, which is the end of the battlefield, and the field beyond it is the battlefield. But we're veering off this way because this is the trail, or a trail. I don't know how many trails are here. This sign seems to have been shoved around for a side. Oh, look. Huh. Okay, the first thing I note about the trails at Horseshoe Bend, that we did see a little bit of the trail in the middle of the park last time, but you can see it's well laid out. It's gravel. And the battlefield's right over there through those trees.
This is like a service road.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I reckon it is. It's hard to tell with some of these parks because a lot of these parks were put on land that, you know, there was a battle, and, you know, within the years after the battle, people settled the land and grew crops and whatever people did. So sometimes you never know what you're going to find on these old battlefields. I have a stick. It's a nice creek.
This is a very easy trail so far.
It is a very easy trail. It's a stroll. It's like a quiet walkway.
Yeah, I like this. So I'm not like scrabbling over rocks. Twisting my ankle.
No rocks to climb in though.
Not so far. We don't know what we're gonna see because we haven't been here.
That's true.
This is really neat. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, me too. If you're new to the channel, just go back 5 or 6 videos and you'll find Horseshoe Bend, where we shot the rest of the park. This is actually a follow-up. We're down close to the river now.
What river is this?
Narration, please.
We don't know what river this is?
I know it, but it escapes me at this moment. Look at this bed of moss. Love the sound of crows. You can see the river shimmering through.
Yeah, it's pretty. Is that your stick?
It is my stick.
Have you abandoned it?
I don't know. I'm debating as to whether or not I'm going to pick it back up. So check this out. People like to do this. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's cool. It's fun. I hear voices, so we're gonna mosey on down. river's right over there, if you can see it through the trees.
Is it the Tallapoosa River?
Let's find out. Just through the trees you can see the Tallapoosa River. And to recap from last time, this river is kind of dangerous. It's upwards of 30 feet deep with strong currents. Man, it's so pretty out here.
To the side.
Oops. How y'all doing?
Good to see somebody back to sleep.
Don't step in the water.
So I abandoned my walking stick, not for any other reason than I forgot to pick it up. There's a spot on the river. There are people back there. It's a good hike because it's not hard, but it is a little hilly. So you do get exercise doing this, which is good. It's always good. Here we're coming up on a little swampy area.
Ooh.
And now a field. This little area this looks like there may have at one time been a house out there.
Sorry, guy.
That is a driveway. Guess if there was anything here, it's long gone. Because right over there is the river. Huh. Looks like an old home site.
Maybe.
Nothing to see here now. But always fun to explore. Alabama is full of natural, beautiful areas. North Alabama has the national forests. Just beautiful areas. This is not North Alabama. More mid-Alabama. Oh, we got a switchback and uphill. It's up there. And we're up to the road bench.
Fine. I see that family.
The family approaches, but they will be slowed by the hill. Past the bench at the top of the hill, and there is a road.
I think we've been here before. Like, I think we're on the horseshoe.
Okay, I think I know where this is. Up this way there is an exhibit. I believe this leads to the hill overlooking the Creek Village. Yeah, it's right up here as we saw before. That'd be a miss not to show it to you again.
Last time we were here, the grass was really high.
It was. And there was a deer running across. The Creek Village sat right there. Right around 1814. Looks like it might have been a road at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And there's these deep gullies. Old dried up creek bed maybe? Earthworks? Who knows? Last time we were here shooting, we came down this little path from the high ground. And we stopped and turned back, and that was basically the end of the video, basically. But today, we're gonna cross this road and see what's over here. Okay, so I see a river down here with what looks like shoals, rocks sticking out, or sandbars. I can't tell from here. But it doesn't look a whole lot like the trail's gonna take us there. It goes around that way. But Now we're on some high ground. So the camera did something super funky just a minute ago. I don't know what it was, I don't know what it means, but I don't know if that last clip I shot even took. So if there's a sudden time jump, that's why. See over there? There's the fence. That's where the creek wall was.
Okay, yeah, so last time we were here, the grass was so high, and we didn't show you on camera, but Brian had actually carried me to the fence because the grass was so high. I was afraid of snakes.
It was over there, folks. Right down there's the river.
Yeah, the grass is much lower now.
Yeah. So this is the fence.
There's some people on the driving course.
Okay, so down there,
Oh, it's still kind of high. See, it was sort of high and snaky looking.
they cut it, but this kind of grass is always, because they're going to cut it with tractors, not a lawnmower, so it's not going to be super like a lawn. But yeah, the creek fence wall was right there, and that's where they met in battle. Creek's on that side because they were protecting their village back that way, and Andrew Jackson's forces coming from that way.
Beautiful sky today.
Beautiful.
Are those chemtrails?
Yeah, also known as plain exhaust.
Yeah, I say it's plain exhaust. Is chemtrail what you say if it's like a conspiracy theory?
Yeah. I think they call them contrails or something. But yeah, that's what that is. You see, ladies and gentlemen, way up high in the air, it's colder than it is here. So when it's cold, it's extra cold up there. So when hot air is coming out the back of the engines, it's just like when you open your mouth and steam comes out.
That's pedantic, Brian. You don't really see him that much, but I live with him.
I guess the trail must continue up
I
here.
think it must loop back pretty
I
close
think
to
it
our car because
does.
we changed direction at some point.
It is such a pretty day. Buzzard. So did you know that a buzzard is immune to everything? Like what it eats could have rabies or any of the terrible diseases that are out there. Doesn't mean a thing to the buzzard. He can eat it and go about his merry way. He just says, that's delicious, and flies off. Seems like there's some kind of like cure for something in there.
Maybe if you eat the buzzard, you get magic powers
Maybe.
and immortality. But you have to eat the buzzard.
In case the audience didn't hear that, say that again.
I said maybe the buzzard, like if you eat the buzzard, you get his magic properties, and it's like you get his powers, but you don't want to do it because you have to eat a buzzard.
Right, and if you try it, let me know how that goes. But you didn't hear it here.
It sounds like a Stephen King premise, like you have to eat the buzzard for immortality. Yeah. And then you eat the buzzard and you're immortal, but like all your skin falls off.
there's always some horrible trade-off.
That idea is free if anybody wants to write that novel. Go ahead.
All right, so we looked at this last time. We're gonna look at it again. There's a couple of graves here. I know some of you probably has not seen the other one if you're just coming through, passing through. But here we have something 1812, erected 1914. But now you can't really read that, but it's got
I
it
think
here.
it says Jackson Trace.
Yeah. Jackson Trace, this stone marks the terminus of the route traced through the wilderness by Jackson's army during the Horseshoe Bend campaign, erected and dedicated by U.S. Daughters of 1812, July 4th, 1914. Major Lemuel P. Montgomery. He acted with the greatest gallantry. March 27th, 1814. Leading the charge on the Indian defenses, Major Montgomery fell while storming the log barricade. Horseshoe Bend was his first battle, but the 28-year-old Tennessean, already a distinguished lawyer, was among the most promising of Jackson's officers.
Is Montgomery, Alabama named after Lemuel Cornell Montgomery?
Maybe. Have to look that up. There's his tombstone. And we're about to go up to the monument where we gave our pro-monument monologue.
Oh, I remember that.
The last one.
I still stand by everything I said.
Me too. We are not politically correct on this channel. No apologies.
I never thought I'd see the day when historical monuments would be controversial.
Right. And again, the cannon we've talked about in previous episodes. In this era of American warfare, the cannons were painted blue in honor of France in some way.
Yeah, so we saw some artillery at that battlefield in Jacksonville.
Yes, Olustee.
Olustee. We referenced this cannon
Yeah.
because this is, and you can see it's very light artillery. It's not a very big gun. It isn't really very effective on the fence here, and it was blue.
And by the time the Civil War was come around, they were painting them dark green.
And they're much bigger.
And they're much bigger. Yes. And a monument that we gave our diatribe standing beside. But you've seen that.
Yeah, if not, go watch it.
Go watch it. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah. It is not very often you see a live armadillo.
So I don't know if you heard me, but I saw an armadillo and I said, babe, it's an armadillo. It's alive. Because in Georgia, you see a lot of armadillos, but you never see one in broad daylight, like living its life, like breathing and moving around. Like that was crazy. It was so exciting to see.
So pretty out here. Benches are our friends. We're at a battlefield, which is in itself an attraction or a point of interest, but the woods themselves and the landscape is an attraction all its own.
Yeah, and if you lived here, like, you'd probably go to the battlefield maybe a couple times a year if you had relatives in for Thanksgiving or whatever, but the trail you could use every weekend.
Oh yeah.
Like, that wouldn't get boring.
And you might see an armadillo.
That was by far the most exciting thing that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, this trail doesn't really have like a payoff at the end. I'll just warn you now, but it's nice. And here it appears is the other end of the trail.
Big loop.
Big loop.
We did see an armadillo.
We did.
Just like the poster. An armadillo was sort of promised and we saw one.
See you down the road.